Are we going on a crime spree later?
That's from Empire Records.
I know, it just sounds like a crime spree show.
That was really loud. Really loud.
So hey guys, welcome back to the WWAM Podcast, episode 4. I bet you fuckers thought that we weren't going to do anymore because we usually have a tendency to give up after about episode 3, but we said fuck it. We're going to surprise you and make episode 4.
I'm not giving up this time, Dad.
Don't stop till you get enough.
I have dreams.
So, episode 4, we're going to be covering a lot of things. We're going to be covering things like life, sexuality, and what it means to look at the sky and wonder, why is it blue and not red?
You're all doomed.
Philosophical questions to make your butthole tingle late into the night. No, seriously. So, I'm glad that you guys have stuck around. And you know, I actually been getting pretty good positive feedback on the podcast, which I've been happy about. It seems like people are actually watching it, which I didn't think they would, because who the fuck wants to listen to us talk for an hour plus?
It's like a White Man Can't Jump. It's like, no, you listen to Jimmy Man, but you're not hearing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't watch a podcast. I accidentally touched Jay's leg.
Yeah, you did.
And now
it's moving slowly to the crotchal region. Stop!
We're playing gay chicken.
No, I will not make out with you.
Julia Gulia. 2 different movies, but both Adam Sandler movies. But that puts us right into the "What did you watch this week" section.
I watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I did not watch that.
Not surprising.
I watched a super underrated movie. I think I've seen it before a bunch of times, but I think that I don't know. It's the only Jennifer Lopez movie that I actually enjoyed watching. It was The Cell. It's got Vincent D'Onofrio as like the fucking serial killer, and the whole basis of the movie is Jennifer Lopez is psychiatrist, hot ass psychiatrist, wears a bodysuit that looks like it's from friggin' Star Trek Voyager. Wow.
Is it a fat suit?
No, it's a sexy suit.
Oh, okay.
Why would it be a fat suit if she's from Voyager?
What?
Because it's Star Trek Voyager.
I didn't hear that part.
Oh. Why don't you fucking take the dicks out of your ears?
I don't want to.
But no, so she's
That's my comfort zone.
We all have something. But yeah, so she's part of this program that they develop where they can delve into the minds of like catatonic people or people in comas or have a lot of mental issues and bring them out of it. And so they use this technology on Vincent D'Onofrio's character because he is a serial killer and they're looking for the last girl, his murder victim, and they're trying to find her before she gets, she dies. And it's a weird, warped, fucked up virtual reality world that she enters into after she goes into his mind because, it's like he's a monster inside of his own mind. And then, of course, you've got Vince Vaughn as the lead detective in it, he's badass in that. I don't know. I just think that movie's really, really good. I mean, and the visuals on it are fucking stunning. Stunning, Steve. It's a really cool-ass movie. And then I watched, which I know you don't like it, but it's on Netflix. I'd never seen it before, Beyond the Gates. I thought it was decent. I mean, I don't think it was like the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, but I mean, it did have an 80s vibe going on with it. I know that you mentioned that they felt maybe they were trying too hard to make it 80s, but it just still, for me, I guess it was just nostalgic seeing a video store and they're doing this like stupid little VHS game, and I don't know. I just liked it. I liked it. It was Beyond the Gates.
Yeah, I didn't like it, Jay. I thought it was garbage juice.
And then I didn't get the chance to watch it all the way, but I did watch it. I started watching The Beastmaster. That's fucking good shit, man. You need to watch that. That's like if you.
Is it a show?
No, it's a movie. It came out like I can't remember the lead guy's name, but it's like it's kind of a rip on Conan the Barbarian because it came out around the same time as Conan the Barbarian. And he's not like Arnold. I mean, he's not like big like Arnold at all, but he talks to like animals and shit. Like I don't know, and he uses animals to help him fight the evil.
It's Tarzan?
No, it's not Tarzan. He uses the animals to fight the evil in the kingdom, and he wears like the loincloth that Arnold Schwarzenegger wears and like runs around.
That sounds a lot like Tarzan, man.
It sounds a lot like Conan O'Brien, but Conan O'Brien. He has red hair too.
And Masters of the Universe.
But no, he does. It's fucking. I don't know. I liked it. The second one was pretty stupid, but that was still nostalgic for me. But it's a good show. I watched that, and then
I thought you said it was a movie.
I call a movie a show. It's the same thing.
Oh, okay, I got you. My pictures.
I like moving pictures.
Yeah, my pictures. My television shows.
And other than that, like slowly watching my life crumble apart with alcoholism and abusive smoking. I mean, that's what I watched. Well,
that's a given.
But I watched that too.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I watched Big Daddy, which is where I was referencing before you so crudely interrupted me. I watched Big Daddy.
I thought it was my turn.
No, Steven, it wasn't. No, dude, Big Daddy is an underrated-ass movie. Like, everybody's seen that. Adam Sandler, it's one of his better movies, but it's underrated as shit, man. Like, everybody just lumps it in with his other movies, but it's actually, like, even though it's got all that stupid shit in there and him making dumbass faces and screaming at people, like, why is breakfast at McDonald's past 9:30 a.m.? You know, or whatever he gets mad about throughout the thing.
What's your name? He'll write it on the wall for you.
Yeah. Or the guy, the trick-or-treat guy who didn't have any candy. He's like, next to your parent, asshole.
I think the most underrated
That's robbery.
I know. Well, I think Rob Schneider's underrated. It's fucking the sandwich guy. He was like, this is bullshit. You let him win.
Hip-hop anonymous. Yeah, he's in the middle of a fight with his girlfriend and Rob Schneider. She's like, what's your deal with the delivery guy anyway? He's like your best friend. He's like, he's a nice guy. What do you want? He shows up. He's like, I got chocolate cake. And he's like, come back later. I'll Indian wrestle you. But yeah,
that's weird that's underrated because it would seem that it's like a lot of people are nostalgic for that movie specifically because a lot of people quote it.
No, like if you look at people's like reviews for it and shit, like everybody's like a typical bullshit Adam Sandler movie. Like I think that some people don't realize that Adam Sandler used to be funny. Like
he used to be back in the day.
People our age maybe do. Like Billy Madison was
Happy
a fucking
Gilmore.
classic. Happy Gilmore. The Waterboys when he started to slip off the fucking ledge into annoyingness, but it was still up there.
I kind of still, but even when there are very few movies that I thought he was funny in after. Like Big Daddy was one of them, but. I kind of liked Click. I thought he was really good in Click.
I never watched it.
Click's a good movie, but I hate it. I fucking hate it. And I know a lot of people love it. Was Little Nicky. I couldn't stand that movie.
I always hated that movie. Yeah, that was like a weird fucking thing. Like, just his face annoyed me too.
He's like, "Don't you guys know that we can do it?" Like, fucking shut up, Eeyore.
So I watched that, and then, what else did I fucking watch? I finished The Keepers, which. Ends pretty much how it started, but it's still worth watching. You haven't watched that yet, have you?
It was the Presbyterian preacher the whole time.
That's still, if you guys didn't listen to our other podcast, it's about a nun that's murdered and a bunch of molesting priests, and they uncover all this crazy shit in this tiny Baltimore town, and it's right up there with Making a Murderer. It's fucking one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and no one's talking about it, Josh. No one.
Yep, you're a really good salesman. Watch this movie about molestation.
Oh, yeah, love it. It's a great time. It's gonna be. Watch it right before you have sex. It'll put you right in the mood.
That's so weird that's just now like becoming a thing as far as documentaries that everybody are getting into them because documentaries like that have been around forever. But it's like after the killer one, that everybody wanted to get on board with it.
Dude, it's Netflix, man. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing about Netflix is the key to Netflix is the fact that you could watch an obscure ass documentary like that, but if you think that other people are actually watching it too, and there will be somebody at work you can talk to about it the next day, I think it promotes people to watch it more. So now we all watch a fuck ton of documentaries.
Back in the day, though, back when it was just on Discovery Channel or some shit, and you'd sit down like on a Sunday afternoon because you had nothing to do, and you'd watch like the Secret Gold Member Society of 1875, and you just watch that shit, be like, wow, that's really interesting, but you had nobody to talk to about it, and like, you watch that fucking shit, you goddamn nerd. Like, no, I watched porn that was just on, and then, but now it's like, oh, did you watch How to Be a Killer or whatever? And you're like, listen to me, now you fucking hated me, and now my scrotum's in your mouth. How do you like that?
Dude, my mom, wow,
I know. How's she doing?
That's some Freudian shit right there, man. That's some Freudian shit. We got together last night and watched some fireworks together and had some drinks. I'm a little hungover, a lot of brain cells are dead, so that's my excuse for that. But what I was going to say was my mom. Fuck, damn, Freud.
Go somewhere.
Jesus,
go somewhere with it.
My wife likes to watch those shows, and she watches the most fucked up ones you've ever seen. Like she likes to watch Killer Kids, and I've
seen something like that.
Yeah, it's like kids that like are in an occult thing, like Satanist kids and murder each other and shit.
I don't watch those. Like I've never like sat through a documentary on that. I have watched on like YouTube like top Dark 5, like it's like top 5 child killers and shit. What all those fucked up things they do.
Yeah, it's like that.
Thank God we have juvenile detention centers.
The fucking children.
The children. But yeah, well, there was that one that actually did happen. And I think they've just, I don't know if they're making a documentary. I know it was in a Dark 5 episode. That's a great channel, by the way, on YouTube. The Slender Man killings, like those 2 little girls that lured that girl out there. Yeah. And that shit's, you know that shit was imagination. There is no such thing as a Slender Man. He says before he's slit alive from the belly to the sternum.
I think that's a given.
Well, I don't know. I know it's not, but these little kids really thought that shit was fucking hardcore real and lured that girl out there to murder her, beat her ass, and to sacrifice her to the Slender Man.
Typical Tuesday night.
Yeah, fuck that. Well, we did it before it was cool.
Yeah. By the way, what did you guys do for the 4th of July? That's what I want to know. We mixed some delicious drinks together. I want to add. You partook in one of those.
They weren't bad.
Actually, the idea was way better than the execution. There's this drink called the John Daly. Do you know who John Daly is?
Yeah, John Daly.
He's a fat drunk golfer.
Daly John.
Yeah, he's crackhead Rob's version of.
Have another Arnold Palmer.
That's basically what it is. It's a John Daly, but it's you take tea and you mix it with lemonade, and then you put vodka in it. It's John Daly.
Well,
but we bought this store-bought shit lemonade stuff, and then this like already pre-made tea, and it didn't taste that good. But I imagine if you use freshly squeezed lemons and you make your own Lipton iced tea, the deliciousness, and it'd be tasty.
It wasn't bad. I think the failings were that the tea wasn't cold.
Yeah, that's true.
It was warm tea.
And it's nasty jug tea, too.
Yeah, when you have that kind of tea, you're just like, well, I'm not going to insult my host, but fuck. It's like, just bought this at the Dollar Tree. But it wasn't bad. Like, I hate vodka. I hate most mixed drinks, but you made it well.
Yeah. Salute. I know how to make a mixed drink. I can tell you that. I want to be a bartender, but you have to have experience.
No, you don't. All you got to do is watch Cocktail on repeat for 3 years.
I've done that. I'm ready. I've had the proper training, but nobody will give you a chance. But
I think me and you make a really good bartender. I think all we do is throw shit at each other. Like, we would throw like bottles. And at first, we're going to fuck each other's faces up because we're not going to catch them. But eventually, we're going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know what we were mixing. We'd just be like, listen to this. I'm going to take this fucking weird glowy thing and mix it in with this vodka thing. And you're going to love it. And they're like, what do you call it? It's called pounding your pants blaster.
Dude, that's what we should do. That's exactly what when we make millions and millions off somewhere other than YouTube.
Call it Bar of the WWAM.
We should open up our own bar and we should bartend it together and we should become like those guys in fucking Cocktail.
Yeah, and then we'll hire a bar rescue guy to help us out.
Yeah. See, all of our ideas for our future employment, none of them make us any money. Like, the number one dream is to own a video store, right?
Yeah.
But, dude, what if we open up a bar inside of a video store?
I don't think that's going to work out so well.
Yeah.
People will never pay their late fees. They'll get so drunk, they'll be like, I don't owe you anything.
The original dream is one of us gets rich to buy, even though it's not going to make any money, but make enough to just buy the space.
Just for fuck
so you don't have to pay rent. Yeah. Just go hang out there and you'll be closed half the time.
It'd be basically our clubhouse that we just opened up to everybody else. That's what it is.
Well, we call it Blockbuster.
Because the dream was we have a video store. And then, like, I'm talking about old school video store guys, like, the Blockbuster Hollywood Video kind of thing. And then next door, you got, like, an old school arcade.
Yeah.
And then next to that, you got a Laser Quest. Like, having all that stuff in one section. And again, it would just be a clubhouse for me and Mike to play with. And then we'd be like, well, we're not going to make any money, but let's just have our friends come.
Well, you're getting crazy with the laser tag and all that shit.
Yeah, I want everything.
I like it, but can we have a basketball court too?
Yeah, it'll be outside. Okay, it'll be out in the back.
No, I want it to be indoors.
No, I can't do that.
No, it's got to be an indoor basketball.
We can't afford it.
I want one of those electronic golfer things.
Oh, dude, what about air hockey? Yeah,
air hockey's a given. You're gonna have an arcade, yeah.
You can't have air hockey.
Can't have an arcade without air hockey.
Air hockey's great.
If I had an arcade, I would get the original X-Men arcade game with the little
X-Men,
joystick.
Yeah,
Turtles,
Killer Instinct, Turtles. Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat on arcade.
Yeah, and then the shooting game.
Remember that?
Any of the shooting games?
Terminator
plastic
2?
Guns.
Terminator 2 with the guns like that, yeah. And then Afterburner, when you got in a little cockpit, you the whole thing moved.
Yeah. Oh, and then you remember the Hollywood high speed getaway chase game? You're in the little red car.
Oh yeah.
And it's got, but the wheel on that one's always broken because the game's people have had sex and done HIV.
I tried to play that game, and I will stand to this day. That game is fucking rigged against you. You can't win.
It's hard. It's fun though. But that and Area 51, where you had was it that or Lethal Force or whatever? You got a red gun and you got a blue gun, and then the block style.
I think they had a lot of games like that.
Those were great. I'd always fucking shoot some woman in her goddamn business dress.
Well, she should have been standing there.
I know. I was after I left the movie theater with that had that game in it. I would go to my boss's desk and he'd rip me a new one for tearing up the city.
Well, it's like, did we catch the bad guy? Collateral damage.
My big black lieutenant boss.
I'm too old for this shit. Okay, so I don't know how that happened. We went into a tandem.
That's what happens.
Okay, but
tangent.
I like tangerines. Okay, so you had watched Big Daddy.
Yeah.
And what else? And you watched The Keepers.
Yeah, I watched Shimmer Lake on Netflix, which is underrated.
Shimmering Lake.
Yeah, it's called.
Is it just a Hallmark car sponsored movie?
It's called Shimmer Lake, and it's got I can't ever think. It's Dwight from The Office in it. Dwight Schrute from The Office. He's actually a really talented guy. I should do him more justice by remembering his name right now, and it's just escaping me. But anyways, you guys know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He's in it, the dude from The Office with the almost excellent 5 o'clock shadow. Not The Office, but Office Space.
You know what? There was
the main guy in Office Space.
We have to go back in that video because we did ask that question about who had the best 5 o'clock shadow ever. Yeah. And there's been a lot of speculation, but okay, if he has almost a good one.
Yeah, it's almost a good one. It's a pretty good one. But he was the dude, he was dad in The Conjuring too, which is weird. I know. Yeah, dude from Office Space. Yeah. And he's in it, and it's a really good, it's like one of those old school heist movies where you don't know who did it, but everybody's kind of a fuck up, and the whole town's a little bit fucked up and weird. It felt like
sounds like our life in this town.
Yeah,
that we live in.
It felt kind of like a Stephen King-ish type story, only more visceral and more crime laden.
Speaking of King of Stevens,
comedic.
I want to say is it weird to anybody else?
That I'm hard right now?
That's totally weird. That's unacceptable, but you need to go finish yourself off in the next room.
It's this big black motherfucker and his dog on my cup is giving me a hard on.
He looks like he's getting ready to fucking do that dog too. So I don't know what's happening.
You guys will never see my cup.
What?
It's a Firehouse Subs cup.
Yeah, but I think they're celebrating canines, but the black guy on the cup himself is looking at the dog like it just licked peanut butter off his sack.
Yeah, he looks like Warren Sapp's about to rape a dog.
So speaking of Stephen King, is what I was saying is like, is it weird to anybody else that how quickly it all comes back? Because when Stephen King back in the early '90s or mid '90s, there's all these sorts of like TV movies that were coming out. Like, it felt like left, right, and in the middle, like every time you turned around, there was a Stephen King thing. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, it's like happening again. You've got you've got Dark Tower, you got the Mist TV series, you've got other things going on with Stephen King. It's like holy shit! Like it's like people just now discovered Stephen King is still alive, and that motherfucker's still writing out novels, and they're like, it's really good. I mean, it's cool. I like it. I mean, I'm really happy.
Well, yeah, no, dude, you got Gerald's Games coming to Netflix at some
Gerald's
point.
Game's a great game.
Mr. Mercedes, is that the name of it?
That's one of his newer ones. I didn't get to read this, but Gerald's Game is fucked up.
Yeah, they're
it's
doing
like a sex thing.
They're doing a show for that somewhere on one of these weird like formats.
Probably Cinemax.
You got you got the Dark Tower, and
the Mist.
The Mist is that we got to talk about that, by the way.
Let's talk about the Misty.
Let's talk about that because that's something that we both watched this week.
I just watched the pilot.
That's all I watched.
Okay, I didn't get around to the other ones because I know I've missed a few,
and I'm not going to.
Yeah. Well, here's my point with the Mist show. I don't think it's bad necessarily. I just when I was watching it, I was just like, why? I was like, why is it needed? Like, I don't really need, because even like the trailers, it looked okay. I'm not gonna say it didn't look okay, but I think the Mist movie was done so well and kept things such in the dark that you didn't need an entire TV series to explain. Like Under the Dome was a TV series they did a few years ago, and we tried to, like, it got the same fucking kind of way. Like, like, oh, there's some monsters in the mist, and they're gonna hang my fucking dog, which I did not like that part. When you hang a dog, you need to burn in the fiery pits of the darkest parts of a butthole, because that's some bad shit what you just did. But other than that, like, I got like a lot of Lost vibes, and I haven't even seen Lost, but it felt like Lost all over again in the TV show. I mean, like, if you've seen the movie, if you've read the book, you already know what the fuck is going on. And Stephen King himself kept it vague on purpose. He didn't want you to like really know what the mist was or what kind of. You just know there's goddamn creatures that are floating in there, and the fuckers look like giant mantises and all sorts of buggery monsters. And maybe the guy, the Jumanji guy, is going to come out, like the Robin Williams Jumanji guy. Alan,
what year is it?
Alan with his big fucking beard. It's going to come out of the mist. But I felt like the show was unnecessary. Like, I don't know. And I mean, the acting wasn't terrible. I just didn't think the show itself was.
Yeah.
I just wasn't pulled in.
See,
I wasn't pulled in.
You and I disagree, but we agree. I think that the idea bodes well for a show because you've got so many little pieces of this town. But I just think they did a shitty job of it. I thought they sucked because of execution.
It could be just because how are you going to tell the story?
Yeah. What was that?
I don't know.
Oh, fucking Ice Maker, dude. Every
goddamn I don't like that, dude. Yeah.
Fucking
every time we start
Maker.
talking about something creepy or weird, like something happens.
My icebox is haunted.
Sub-Zero. Wins. Fatality.
That was a good one. But yeah, no. I thought the acting sucked. And first off, as soon as you get introduced to this dude in the woods, this
Brian something.
Yeah, the army dude. He's like
Arrowhead's finest.
Yeah, his dog gets killed by the mist or whatever.
Yeah, and like hanging hungry on a fucking tree.
Yeah, this is supposed to be their big scary like holy shit opening. Like you have someone die to keep people interested. Then you show the title and then you get into the story. Was their idea, but they just I was like, this is your big guns. Like this is your first night of the show, and this is what you have to show me. It was like a fucking pop rocket.
I felt like when I was watching it, I was taken back to Sean Connery's speech to Indiana in The Last Crusade. It was like, my son, we are pilgrims in the Holy Land. It just didn't make sense to like the whole fucking thing. Just it went off rails to a point where I just wasn't. I mean, not as far as like not like crazy weird, but just off rails to the fact that I lost interest.
It wasn't bad enough to be interesting in a Stephen King corny way. It was just bad, like in the fact that it's just not interesting at all.
I'm sorry. I mean, I know that there are people that like it, and that's cool if you like it and you're going to stick it out to the end. I just don't see myself wanting to watch it. Like I was struggling to get through the episode. I really was. Like I didn't even want to keep watching it because I was just like I'm not really interested anymore. I'd rather just go back and watch the Thomas Jane version that they put out.
Yeah.
It was way better.
Sure. And you know, my original intent after watching the first episode was, well, I'm going to watch the whole season. I'm going to see how it goes. You know, I don't have high hopes, but I am going to watch it. But then that time came. 0 hour was upon us, and I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to watch anymore. It's just not important to me. It's never going to be great. And that's the thing. Like, I'm watching it, and it seems like its peak is that it could get okay. It's never going to be great. There's a couple of horror parts in there, though, like the mall, like that bitch mom at the mall.
Yeah.
When she steps out into the mist and then she comes back with no fucking jaw, I was like, ooh, that was pretty cool. I like that. But then they're trying to
Game of Thrones your fucking mouth when you speak to mother.
They're trying to Game of Thrones it and have like 17 different storylines going on, and I just don't like anybody except for the mom, the strict mom. At first you hated her, but by the end of the episode I was like, she could be that Thomas Jane type character who could carry the show with her badassery. The husband was a little bitch though.
It's weird that these shows are struggling so much with the Mist, because you would think, I mean, again, I'm on the opinion that the Mist didn't really need a TV show, but even so if I'm like, okay, I'll just go and play devil's advocate and say, yeah, okay, the Mist, we'll make a great TV show out of it. I just think that the network they chose was the wrong network. Maybe if you had taken
Spike.
Yeah, maybe if you had taken it to somewhere, maybe A&E, because they've done so well with like Walking Dead or something, maybe they would have executed it better, or taken it to HBO or Cinemax or a paid TV channel, and maybe they would have done better with it. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, maybe Spike just wasn't the crew for it.
Yeah, I don't know. And the rollout of the show sucked too.
Yeah,
like the commercials were untimely placed, and
I think Spike would be good for like. Well, see, I don't even know, because I was going to say maybe Spike would be a good setting for something like Tales from the Crypt, but I wouldn't trust that if they were going to remake Tales from the Crypt and have it on Spike.
No, I wouldn't want that at all. And it's just, I don't know, they didn't even have an intro, man. There's no intro to the show even. Maybe that changes, but then they were like, oh, and the other 2 episodes are online right now. I was like, I just don't care enough. I don't care, Karen.
Yeah, sorry, we're not going to watch the Mist shit.
Yeah, so that's our thoughts. Now, what did you guys think about it if you did watch it? There's just no point in watching and reviewing.
I mean, I don't know if there's enough demand out there for us to watch it.
There's not. I think like 2 people were like, "Hey, I'm interested."
Okay, well, the 2 people, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think they changed their minds too once they watched it. I think we all just kind of gave up on it. I don't think it may not even last. Who knows if it'll even last past the first season?
I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows? Something else that we both watched that we were going to actually do a bigger, more in-depth podcast review of this, but because of its anniversary of whatever anniversary it was for the movie, but Batman Returns.
God,
it's been like a week and a half since we watched
it.
But I mean,
oh God,
can you forget that movie?
No, I never did. I saw I remember when
on me.
It wasn't just the fact that the movie itself is so weird and googly oogly, but I still liked it. But it was like, I remember the toys that came out. I got all the toys. I even got the bat boat when he went through the sewer. And I was thinking, I always thought, like, did you just design that bat boat only for the sewers? Because it's so weird. I never saw it anything else. Like, it just, and how did it fit? There were so many questions. But it was a weird. It was like Tim Burton finally went into the darkness of the realm and was like, I'm just going to throw out some weird fucking shit. And I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. There were moments that were really cool. I mean, you have Christopher Walken, who he's still fucking good. I don't care how bad he was. Maybe some people didn't like him in that movie. I thought he was great in that movie. He reminded me of Donald Trump.
I like that. You do his total Donald. If that came out today, it would be.
He's like Donald Trump.
The fancy pants would be.
I like when he was like
a political allegory.
He was like, Selena Kyle. She talks again. I'll throw out a higher window. So I was like, you savage.
I liked him a lot, man. I wish that he would have remained more of a main bad guy as the movie went along, but the movie kind of forgot about him. Dude, I wish that movie. Oh my God.
It was weird though. It never really explained how long. Yeah, DeVito, man. The Penguin, I don't know what happened there. No. Like, I really don't. I mean, making him like a freakish fucking... the best... The best version of the Penguin that I've ever seen in my life was the Arkham games, where they made it more, like, realistic about why he's the Penguin because of his short stature, and that he had that little monocle in his eye because he got into a bar fight and somebody slammed his face into, like, a beer bottle that got stuck, and that's why he has that monocle. And, his short stature kind of got him known as a Penguin. Like, that made more sense. It was just a nickname. But they actually made him a half man, half penguin. Like, come the fuck on.
You can't ask me to take this movie fucking seriously when this motherfucker is riding around in a giant duck and he's got literal, like, penguins with, like, little missiles on their backs. Like,
but you can.
The fuck on.
Oh, but you will.
And then the most
Michelle Pfeiffer was hot as fuck, though. Yeah, I don't care.
She's got to have her own segment, man. But seeing on the Penguin, dude, he had skid marks that you could see through his fucking suit. He was walking around, you could see his butt cheeks sucking into those white Jordans he was wearing. and like you could see the skid marks, man.
Adult diapers aren't for you.
He was all like, "Fuck wiping." I'm a penguin.
He couldn't get
that fucking flipper back there.
But he did have penguin helpers.
The whole story
Eat my shit.
The whole story is so fucking stupid, dude. Like, Christopher Walken thinks he's gonna make him mayor. It's not even an election year.
They don't know Gotham has different needs.
They said so. There's like, it's not even an election year. He's like, I'll make it work.
One of the weirdest things about that movie, also, I never wondered. I always thought about when I was a kid, and even watching it now, is that how long has Batman been out of commission? Just sitting in that chair waiting, like, because Bruce Wayne is just like, he's just like, no, but I love that scene where he's wearing his black turtleneck. When I was a kid, I just wanted to wear a black turtleneck and sit in like a leather chair and wait for a signal, because he does this cool, like,
I remember you wore turtlenecks way too long.
Yeah, well, I tried it for him, but I didn't do it.
You wore those way too long.
But he cocked that one right eyebrow, and when the fucking signals turn, they go, and he like stands up, like, no, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's how I feel at night when you're like, nobody wants to party with you, but then all of a sudden you get 3 text messages. You want to come out tonight? And you're like, I will help you. But yeah, it was. He
was badass.
But I always wondered, they never explained how long he'd been decommissioned. Like how long since Joker died to now? Had it been a few years? Had it been a couple of months?
It's been lunch.
It's got to be a while because he had those new bat signal things that turned towards his house to let him fucking know. I mean, of course you would. Alfred's your butler. I mean, how are you not going to know that there's help?
And he was badass
in his help
as Batman, dude. He was fucking rad. Like,
and by the way, I just want to address this also. All the dumb shits that we're sitting there talking about Ben Affleck's Batman killing people. He fucking torched that motherfucker with his car, which was badass scene.
Yeah.
But he murdered. He fucking broke necks and shit, it seemed like.
Back then, nobody gave a
Michael
fuck.
Keaton was fucking shit up and killing. It looked like he killed the Joker. He killed the Penguin. Essentially, he fucking he killed like the henchman in Batman Returns. This was already going on, and everybody was complaining about, well, Batman would never do this. Look at the body count.
That's the thing. Like, Batman is never going to shoot someone in the fucking face, right? But if you die by proxy, you fucking die. Like, Batman's always killed people by proxy. It's always happened, and that's all Ben Affleck's Batman did. I always take it back to fuck Batman Returns. I mean, I always mention Batman Returns. The scene with the clowns, when the clowns all come out and he's fighting them all, dude. He killed like 20 people.
It had to be, because I mean, when he was punching, and then one of them, he would grab them on their neck. I thought he broke their necks and shit.
He threw one guy down a fucking manhole, like on his head. And if you go, I always go back also to The Dark Knight, what everybody considers one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. Nobody ever dared to question Nolan on Batman killing people or whatever. But here's the thing. If you look at the one scene, if you're going to go to that level of seriousness with these fucking fictional characters, which I love, but if you're going to go to that level of seriousness, the scene with the Joker chase scene, when they're underground and they're in the subway chasing him, Batman is literally taking his Batmobile, and he's hitting cars on purpose and blowing them up for what I forget exactly why. I don't know if he's.
I was just thinking about something that happened in that movie. Though. Okay, go ahead. What you were saying.
If he's creating debris or whatever, I forgot what he was doing it for. But he runs into like 15 parked cars, right? Blows them up.
There's nobody in the cars though.
But he has no way of knowing that.
Damage.
And they even go beyond the step beyond that and show 2 kids a couple cars down that easily could have been in any one of those cars playing, and they're shooting each other, and then all of a sudden the car blows up behind them, and they're like, "Did we just do that?" That little cute, funny scene.
Yeah.
Batman could have been killing kids.
We don't know.
So if you want to talk about Man of Steel and how Clark should have known,
no, they were more. It's more on Batman.
No, I know. I'm just saying. But if you're going to talk about Man of Steel, like people do about that, and you're going to go to the super serious, like Clark Kent would never let all those people die or whatever. Look at the Nolan verse when he was doing it, and everybody was licking his butt. These movies are going to have those problems.
All I was going to say was about Superman, though. Is the reason why they said that about Superman. That Superman never did, even Christopher Reeve. He never did, like ever.
By proxy, I'm sure people died. Though.
But. Well, the whole argument was in Batman vs Superman because Ben Affleck fucking literally.
I know it's 2 different arguments. I'm just saying if you're going to take these movies and you're going to hold them up to that high standard, like Superman would never let people die and that Batman would never kill people, you have to be fair. Batman kills people in Batman Returns and in The Dark Knight.
And in Batman, even in Batman.
Yeah, and in The Dark Knight, he literally could have caused damage and killed people just like people died in Man of Steel. So I mean, you just can't pick and choose which movies you want to complain about that with.
What I was laughing about is that it had nothing to do with the argument that you were making, because I agree with your argument. But when he was driving, that car scene was cool as fuck though, because like when the wings come off and it goes to that little, like it's like a torpedo.
Yeah.
But he hits the switch, he's like, "That's funny," because nothing happens, but his face is like, "That's funny." That's like exactly how I feel when somebody's like, you're not getting off today early. Like,
yeah.
That's funny. He's like, let me check the schedule again. But that whole scene, and dude, I gotta say this about Michael Keaton. The way he played Batman in obviously in Batman the original and in Batman Returns, he is definitely, dude. I love Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, I think, is the quintessential Batman that everybody wants. But Michael Keaton is so close to number one. It's ridiculous. Oh, yeah. The way he wore that suit, also that fucking suit is so iconic. That with the yellow background and the bat symbol, fucking looked great. He looked badass. Like he looked awesome. I don't know. He will always be as close to Ben Affleck's Batman as there ever will be. I don't see anybody else taking over. Like once Ben Affleck's done, it'll be Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, and whatever you want to say after the words. I mean, I just don't.
He was what was
because he played Bruce Wayne perfectly too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that he played Keaton or that Keaton played Wayne Girl. I mean, he also played Batman perfectly. It was both. He played the balance.
And you know what's so special about him is he was the first one to ever play Batman in a serious manner. So he had nobody to go off of. He got to create that role for himself, and that's what makes him his character and his portrayal of it so unique. And in Batman Returns, one of the only things like I like this movie. It's a nostalgic movie for me, and there's little parts of it I really like. But there's a lot of bad shit in it. But the saving grace of the movie is consistently that Michael Keaton with that, and Michael Keaton is still awesome as Batman. He never fucking fails. But yeah, let's talk about Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
Fucking hot as shitballs. Oh my god.
For me, I have an inner struggle. Devils and gods are raging inside me. I don't know if
that would be the burrito that you had.
Yeah, the double chalupa, delicious. By the way, when you had the double chalupa, because we had this conversation earlier, did you get? I mean, it's been bothering me for a week.
What?
I didn't ask you. Did you get the spicy one? You would know.
I was drunk.
Was it? Of course you were. Was it covered in jalapenos?
No.
Oh, you got to try it. Nah. You got to go back to Taco Bell.
I'm not going back.
We've got to go back to the island, Jack. And you got to get.
Thought it was about it for
you got to get it. You got to get the spicy one. You got to specifically ask for the spicy one. The double chalupa.
I didn't know they had a spicy one. All I saw was just that fucking one option.
Fucking amazing. It's covered in these giant wheel jalapenos.
Sounds good.
Hi, we have ADD, and this is we watched the movie. But Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. I have a devils and gods raging inside me because I can't.
Damn,
which one's hotter?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer, and I can't think of her name right now, but the original Catwoman from the original Batman movie.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
No, she was fucking.
No, I know
fine,
you're talking
dude.
about. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know you're talking. She's hot too. But dude, Michelle Pfeiffer rocked that S&M leather fucking suit so goddamn perfectly, and had the whip and like her licking Batman's face with that sexiness on top of him, and just like the squeak of the rubber suit made your boner get already like harder than it was. Like, just take the fucking suit, put on the suit, take off the suit.
Tony Stark gets so confused.
Yeah, but look, dude, and not just that she played Selena Kyle perfectly as far as what Burton was going for. Maybe not the Selena Kyle that a lot of people were expecting, because Catwoman has gone through different versions of what people think Selena Kyle should be. Is she like a bimbo? Is she as in like an intellectual level the same as Batman? Is she fucked up and psychotic like Selena Kyle played her? Is she a damaged goods? I think that the vision that Tim Burton was going for, she nailed that weird, quirky ass, like crazy. And you know what? I want to fuck the shit out of you from the bar. Thank you, but I know you're gonna leave some deep gouges.
She's gonna squeeze your nutsack.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt really bad, and you're not gonna know the safe word, and it's gonna be something so weird. It's gonna be like paint is black, and you're like, what?
It's like there's a big California-sized California queen over in bedding.
Is that the safe word? I can't remember all that. But no,
all I know is that the party never stops on Selena Kyle's answering machine.
I would have been like, I mean, as Batman. And Batman has maintained the cool factor that Batman is, but when he had seen that thing like slinking towards him, he should have turned to the Penguin. He's like, "Do you have $1?"
Dude, that scene was so terrible when him and the Penguin saw her at the same time, and they turned into this stupid Disney-fied. The Penguin's like, "I saw her first," and he like pulls over his fucking umbrella. I was like, "This is garbage."
Well, when she turned around, like when she looked at him, she's like, "Meow." And then like it was boom. I'm like, okay, that's stupid.
And her origin story was my favorite part of her though, because not just her getting pushed out of the window and how creepy she was when she came back was awesome. And then her apartment and where she goes and she beats the fuck out of everything in her apartment and she changes the "hello there" sign to "hell here" or whatever it was.
Yeah, they never really explain her
She got chewed
resurrection. I know, like cats chew on your fingers and you just pop out back to life.
They chewed on. That was nasty too, dude. They actually showed the cat chewing on her fucking finger.
Yeah,
it's way better than they did in the Halle Berry woman. And the Halle Berry one,
I never watched it.
I watched it because of my daughter, but she was getting chased out of some tunnel, and some guy shot her, and she fell out of the tunnel into the water for like Fugitive.
Was it Detroit?
like in the Fugitive, and this fucking cat, the CGI cat, comes up on Halle Berry's face, and it goes, oh, and it breathes into her face, and all of a sudden she's
I thought it was gonna be like that thing from Minecraft again. I was going, But yeah, Mike just pulled up the picture of the original Catwoman from the Adam West TV series. She's hot as fucking bananas,
Julie
dude.
Newmar. Look at this one, dude.
Thanks for... Oh, my God.
Chicago.
Was it Tu Wong Fu? Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
I think...
That's Julie Newmar, dude.
Is that?
Yeah, Julie Newmar.
We're
That's
stupid.
crazy. Yeah, she is hot as banana fucks. But is she hotter than Sharon Stone? I mean, I keep saying Sharon Stone. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Marry, fuck, kill. Oh, this is a good one. Marry, fuck, kill.
Out of the three Catwomen?
Out of the three Catwomen... four Catwoman, so we'll leave.
I'm not.
She doesn't even count.
No,
what's her name again? From Dark Knight Rises.
Anne
Hathaway. She doesn't really count. I mean, she wore cat ears and rode a fucking motorcycle. She was not fucking Catwoman. Christopher Nolan.
So you failed on that. Let's go with the Burton and
Mary fuck. Did you say Burn?
Burton.
Oh, I thought you said, let's find some witches.
Burn.
Halle Berry.
Okay.
Catwoman. Michelle Pfeiffer. Julie Newmar.
Okay, so Mary fuck kill.
Mary fuck kill.
Kills Halle Berry.
Man.
Fuck. Michelle Pfeiffer and then marry Julie Newmar. But I think that Julie Newmar looks like a marriageable type of Catwoman. Like she looks like she might be like on the outs of not wanting to rob anymore. Like you could change her and have kids with her.
Freaking the sheets.
Michelle Pfeiffer, but Michelle Pfeiffer's got a lot of fucking serious problems. And that's a girl you'd meet at the bar late at night and you'd be like, you know what? I know you're batshit, but I want to put my dick in you, and we're gonna do that.
You said it perfectly. That's exactly how I would feel. I mean, it's hard to say you'd rather kill than fuck Halle Berry. This is one of the only instances
in the Catwoman
in
setting,
life.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, as far as
dude,
you're right. I mean, absolutely.
But no, it's the weird thing is.
But see, Bruce tried to marry that shit. He tried to put a ring on it, and that's where he fucked up.
That's too much.
She didn't want that.
Yeah, see, you got to know the difference, and I've had to learn the hard way. Sometimes girls just want a wiener in them. They don't want anything else. They don't want you to be the nice guy. They don't want you to be Mr. Sensitive. They just want you to put your kahuna in their river and endow it with seed, and that's all they want. But not like your seed that they're gonna have babies and not ever tell you about. Not like that. But they just want a fucking freak in the leash one time.
Yeah, they just want to go home and listen to a Korn single.
And sometimes I'm just like, I want to make you my girlfriend. And they don't want you to be. They don't want to be your girlfriend, so they can't function in that setting. So
yeah, that's what he tried. He tried to shoplift the pootie. No, I think that has to do with kids. I never do it. Jerry Maguire, can you please fucking Tom Cruise? Will you explain to me that in your weird Scientology what the fuck you meant by shoplifting the pootie and Jerry Maguire? Anyways,
you're so glib. You're so glib, Matt.
It wasn't him that said it. It was Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba. But yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, she's like, I would love to live with you in your giant castle, Bruce.
Oh, Bruce. Yeah.
But you know what always confused me about that scene is that he just rips the fucking bat mask right
I
off.
always got pissed off. That's the second time he revealed it's some fucking bitch that he just met. Because no, he did it to Vicky Vale.
Even fucking Tobey Maguire had the sensibility not to
at least until the second one.
Yeah, to at least wait a little while.
And he didn't mean for the second one. Like his mask was already half ripped off. It was all because of Dr. Ock. But no, in Batman 1, it was kind of Alfred's fault because he let Vicky Vale into the Batcave.
Yeah.
While he was like
fucking
whatever. And Alfred, you're fucking getting doxxed, bitch. I mean, it's
still
happening.
My house.
The second one, he rips off his plastic mask and you're like, hey, I'm Bruce Wayne. I'm like, God, dude, why do you gotta do it? And then even in the third one, I think Val Kilmer revealed his identity to Nicole Kidman, didn't he? It's like, what is this obsession with Batman having to reveal his identity to everybody?
Sorry, you didn't pick up on it. It sounded like I was pissing just now.
I tried not to think about it because I really do have to pee.
I was pouring water into a bottle.
So anyway, other than that, yeah, I felt
everything special about you came out of a bottle.
That was really fucking mean, and I hope you burn in hell and Ultimates. But no, actually, I just think that Michelle Pfeiffer played that part perfectly as far as Tim Burton's vision of it. Is it the Catwoman that a lot of people were expecting? Probably not, but she's a good Catwoman as far as 90s nostalgic kind of Catwoman. I mean, I think that she set the prime example of what Catwoman should be. Mm-hmm. Other than the crazy fuck shit. Like, that was a little bit too much. Like,
I liked it.
It was hot. I mean, it was hot, but I mean, as far as what Selena Kyle really is,
yeah,
she was never, I don't even think in the comic books was made out to be that crazy.
I think they should have just taken the Penguin straight out of the movie.
But what is with Tim Burton wanting to kill every fucking villain that we've got? Like, again, we got the Joker. He got dropped off a building. Then he kills the Penguin. Then he kills... Okay, well, maybe she didn't die, because at the end, that was so stupid. The end when she stands up and you see her, and, you know, in the background, after Bruce picks up a random cat on the side of the road, and he's like, maybe she's out there. I'm like, what are you doing? That thing's got worms. And he
never saw the cat again.
Yeah, and then he, like, drives off with the cat, then she stands up with the bat signal goes off. So, okay, everybody was expecting maybe Catwoman to return in Batman 3, but that never happened. I mean, Tim Burton was obsessed with killing off these awesome villains. Like, Penguin is an awesome villain, other than the way that Danny DeVito played him.
This was pre-cinematic universe. Like, when Nick Fury showed up, it's like, that's my cat, motherfucker! But it was pre-cinematic universe, so it was weird to see that. But I remember when this movie came out, man, I was a kid, and I loved the first one, the 89 Batman. Like, obsessed over it, watched it all the time, had the toys and shit. So when Batman Returns came out, I was like, you motherfuckers take me to see this. But no, they did not, because that was the big story at the time, from what I remember, was Batman Returns is actually way darker than people expected it to be, and don't take your kids...
I could see that.
Yeah, don't take your kids to see it.
It was very borderline S&M sexual.
I remember the day I finally got to see Batman Returns. I waited and waited and waited. We'd drive by the movie theater, and I would just look longingly at the poster like, never. You know? Or the ads in the old time newspapers. But I remember we were at Toys R Us.
Were you born in 1945 in the old time newspapers?
Well, you know what I mean. Like, that's how you used to get the movie showtimes. You know, I know. Call that number.
The way that you described it just sounded like you were like, and here we have Batman Returns. The kids are coming here.
But those were the good times, though, when you have to go get the paper and look at the pictures and stuff. But then, or you had to call that fucking number, and you had to sit and you had to wait for like Batman Returns.
Thank you for calling Regal Cinemas. We hope you have a great experience. Yeah. If you're calling for movie showtimes, press 1. If you're calling to speak with a staff member, press 2. It's like showing at 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. and then it goes through every fucking thing.
It goes through every time. That's what I was gonna say. It's like 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7, 9, and then it's got a 3.
Just give me the goddamn number.
It's got a 3D too. 3D, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7. And 9:45, and then you always have that ADD bout right when they get to your fucking movie. You'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing later, Barbara?" And you're like, "Oh fuck!" You gotta go through the whole goddamn thing again. But anyways, I remember being at Toys R Us with my dad, and my dad used to do this thing to fuck with me when I was a kid, dude. Oh. He would fuck with me so hard on this. He would pick up something he knew I'd want. Mm-hmm. And like I didn't know how to talk to my dad very well when I was a kid, so I wasn't gonna just like, if it was my mom, I'd be like, please, I'm gonna cry and shit my pants, buy this for me, or I'll throw a fucking fit right here in this goddamn store. I swear to God I will, and I'll kill the family cat. But with my dad, I wouldn't even ask for it, you know. So he's picking up shit, and he picks up Batman Returns on VHS, and inside of me, fucking alarm bells are going off. I was like, could it be true? Could we have the day that we've always wanted?
You sound like Emperor Palpatine. Do it.
I went from not seeing it to fucking owning it.
You're like Emperor Palpatine looking at your dad's like, do it. Do it.
He picked it up, dude, and he looked at the back of it and just sat there and stared at it for 10 goddamn minutes, and then finally, begrudgingly, set it on the fucking tram, you know, the little thing that rolls your toys.
Oh yeah.
He finally set it down, and it was because he wanted to see it too. But I was like, fucking score! I got a toy and that fucking Batman Returns, so it was a great day for me.
Well, overall, the movie itself, I think that it's not like, it's nowhere near as good as the first one. It's always like the weird, you know, orphan step kid that got brought into your house. You know, looking at all the Batman movies that have been made, it's always like that weird kid that just kind of huddles in the corner and like plays with himself sometimes, but you don't really say anything about it because, you know, he might be a cool kid. He just got a lot of problems. I just think that's what Batman Returns... And Batman Returns makes me feel weird sometimes. Like, watching it, it's just kind of just fucking depressing sometimes. It's like, I guess the way they shot it and the way it looks and the way the dialogue is delivered, and I'm just like, oh, God, I need some fucking milk. But I'm loving it at the same time. I don't know what to do. But overall, it's still a good movie, and it's nostalgic, and that was the last of an era. Like after that movie, it was over. Like as far as the Burton stylization of Batman and what the story they were trying to tell, and then enter into Schumacher nipple titties like everywhere, nipple titty and cod pieces. After that, it went all downhill until the resurrection of Nolan. So, yeah, It's definitely a movie that everybody should watch at least one time. Even if you're not even a big fan on Keaton, you should at least... I don't know who the fuck wouldn't be, but if you're not, like, at least just give it a shot one time. Because I'm sure that people that are listening have at least suffered through the terrible, leprosy of Batman and Robin. That shit makes my fucking dick hurt even saying that name. Batman and Robin with Chris O'Donnell. It's like a hockey team from hell. La 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 la.
Yeah.
It's so nasty.
Yeah, I still like the movie, but it's got like they veer off into such strange places in this movie, and it gets away from what would have made it so good. And it's just like, dude, like the weirdest fucking scene in the whole movie is when they're sitting upstairs in his little loft, and
that is weird.
And Catwoman comes in there, and like there's all these sexual references and stuff, and she puts the cat in her mouth, and they're just like,
no, she puts the bird in her mouth, and then he's like, "Here, kitty."
Yeah, the bird. Yeah. And
she put a cat in her mouth. Her mouth's big.
He's laying on the bed with her and shit, and trying like talking nasty, and I was just like, "Ew."
She's like, "Please, I wouldn't touch you to scratch." He's like, "Is that what you think?"
He was like, "You put out all the signs."
He's like, "You're so salty,
yeah,
and thirsty."
But yeah, still a classic movie. And whenever I think of snow, I think of this it's like snow and superheroes, and the setting was fucking great, man. Like the way everything looked was fantastic. When you go back to where Batman's driving around fighting all these clown fuckers, it was a really good movie up to that point with Christopher Walken and all that shit. And the Penguin just threw it off the fucking rails and got done.
I'm gonna say this before I need to take a break because I have to pee really bad. But I want to say this before to sum up this movie. It's a great movie, but. Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Mistletoe can be deadly.
That's how he found out it was her.
I know. And then they look at each other. It's like, oh my god, do we have to start fighting? I was like, no, bitch, I'm still dancing.
He says that out of nowhere, too. Like, you can tell that was fucking jammed into the log line there. Because all of a sudden they're fighting. He's like,
what is she
saying? By the way,
what was the line that he said?
Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it. And she said, even deadlier if you mean it.
Yeah. And it was, and then they look at each other like, well, it's not a big deal. Like, just finish the dance, okay? I heard Ricky Martin's going to be on live. Anyway,
but it's still a good show. You never got to have sex with her.
What would you give it rating?
I give it a 6.
I give it a 7, and I liked it a little. It seems like a little bit less than you, but I still give it a 7 just for solidness.
I think as a movie, it's fucking bad, but as nostalgia, I love it. And Batman, Michael Keaton is awesome.
I just love the fucking. I love Christopher Walken.
It's fucking awesome.
But anyway, so I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back soon, and make sure you tip the waitress and put your dick away. Thank you.
I don't want to. We're back in the saddle again.
That was a quick little interlude. I had to pee really bad. I had to drink about 12 Dr. Peppers, so I had to go pee-pee. Did you fart?
No. Why would I?
Because you made that weird sound like you did.
Relief. Pure relief.
Oh, I didn't mention this. We're going to move on to a different segment, but I wanted to throw this out really quick. I did get to watch the Power Rangers movie again. The new one. It's fucking good. It got better even the second time.
You know, people are saying, like, he thinks that the reason it didn't do so well is because of the PG-13 rating. Like, I don't necessarily think that it was the PG-13 rating, but I do think that the PG-13 rating was pointless. Because the only thing that they really did with it was show a cow's dick.
They showed a cow's dick. Well, they alluded to the fact. Well, they showed it. They showed it, but then they alluded to the fact that he jerked off that cow.
Yeah.
And then they had, they never said they were drinking beer around that campfire at towards the middle of the film, but it was alluded to the fact that it was beer. Who gives a fuck? That makes sense. Like, if you're trying to make it relatable to today's youth, it makes total sense to have those Power Rangers be like that. And I thought the whole take on them made sense, because you had the Trini girl that was dealing with her sexuality. That had never been done before, and that was another introduction to the 21st century and how that's a struggle for a lot of people. So I thought it was badass. I didn't know this either, but the Black Ranger, the Asian guy, he's actually 29 years old. He's the oldest of the fucking cast. The other ones are 21 and 20 years old playing 18-year-olds. He's 29.
That just goes to show you there's still a chance for you.
What?
To be a Power Ranger.
I want to be.
No matter how old you fucking are.
I'm not that old.
But yeah, dude, I think that movie got a bad jib.
I thought it did. I thought it did well, though.
No, it did poorly at the box office, to where they don't know if there's going to be a sequel or not.
Well, that's fucking bullshit, because I thought there were going to be like 6 of them.
Yeah, there were supposed to be.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, I know. It's sons of bitches.
Because we could have got the Zeo Rangers, because that Zeo Crystal thing, like the Zeo Rangers was the next development of the Power Rangers after in the original show. And then I want to see the Green Ranger, motherfucker.
I don't want to see the Green Ranger.
Green with envy.
Fuck the Green Ranger.
No, fuck you.
Did you see about that shit? Did you see about that Jason David Frank shit, though?
No.
Like, this is one of those videos that we did, by the way. We have a show on YouTube called Douche Court that we do from time to time. It's been a long time. We need to do another one.
Yeah, another Douche Court.
But it was called Douche Court. And
a lot of douchery going on.
It was about him being a douche to the Red Ranger and wanting to fight him and stuff like that. But that's its whole point. But anyways, just a few weeks ago, he was at a convention. And this fucking kid shows up who looked like Hurley from Lost. He showed up dressed as like the Punisher. And forgive me if I'm getting all the facts wrong here, but this is what I remember.
Remind me,
he had a bunch of
what's
guns.
Hurley look like?
He's just a huge Hawaiian dude.
Oh,
I don't know if this guy was Hawaiian or not, but anyways. But here, I'll show you a picture of him. But this dude showed up with a bunch of weapons and shit and was telling people he was going to kill Jason David Frank. He was there to kill Jason David Frank. And he told us, they caught him via text, like they proved it via text, because he was sending text. He was like, I stabbed him 15 years ago, and today I'm going to finish the job. And then I'm going to take some cops.
What is he, Mel Gibson in Payback?
And then like, they asked Jason David Frank about that, and he was like, nobody ever stabbed me 15 years ago. He's like, so that clearly didn't fucking happen.
Get the good and go.
But they were all, dude... it's weird to say this because that'd be a weird situation to be in. That'd be scary, and he is right because they do need to have better security at those things because everybody's walking around with fake weapons and stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, but go ahead.
They need to have better security for that. He was right at that, but he was really eating it up, like standing up there in front of these guys. He was like, "When you're a celebrity like me, and I am," and he stopped and went. He said because he was at the press conference. This was like on CNN or whatever it was. He was like, "When you're a celebrity like me, and by the way." I am a celebrity. When you're a celebrity like me, a performer, this kind of thing you have to be used to. And dude, he came off really.
I'm also the voice of my own God.
Everything I've ever seen of him.
That'd be like me and you standing up in the middle of an interview and saying, because we have almost 27,000 subscribers, like, when you're a celebrity like us, you can't even walk down the fucking street without being mauled by these make-believe paparazzi. Yeah. You're gonna get threats. I mean, David Frank is cool. I like Jason David Frank.
Way more famous than us, but
I know. But he's a B-lister. What else have you been in, Jason David Frank? What else have you been in? Like, I know you're a badass, like kung fu guy for real, but what else have you done besides the Power Rangers? What is your claim to fame? Yeah, you've done nothing except have a cameo in the new Power Rangers movie. Which, by the way, there is a deleted scene that Kimberly and him had in the diner shop. There was another scene of them at the diner shop.
At the Krispy Kreme
or whatever, and they're looking over at the two girls like doing that little weird thing that they were doing, not having sex, but they were doing that weird bottle tossing thing, or getting the last piece of cake. So I just think it's funny that Jason, he is the worst egotistical fuckhead I've ever seen in my life, and I know that people love him, and I agree the fact that he does give back to the fans, like he does like give time to fans, and he goes to all these conventions, and he's still doing that. But you guys have got to remember, he's getting paid to do this. It's not like he's doing it for free. He's not like going there for no reason other than I just love my fans. He's getting a good chunk of money to go to these conventions and shows, and then people bitch about the other Power Rangers that don't go, and they're like, well, look, maybe they've got other projects going on, and the money. Jason David Frank doesn't do anything else except that. I mean, that's what he does, and he has his kung fu thing. Mm-hmm. So, I still like the Green Ranger. I just think he's a douche. I mean, I would have put him on a douche.
Well, I mean, I felt bad for him in that situation because that would be really scary to have that set. But he just seemed like, dude, he was really, I don't know, he seemed very, very fake to me. That's just me. It's just he just rubs me the wrong way.
And before we move on to what we're going to move on with the movie news, I just want to point out, like, there's been a few things that I followed. I saw a little bit on it. I didn't see much. Apparently, this guy on YouTube, I don't remember his name. I was telling you about this guy, the Instagram model that I showed you the video where he was accosting a security guard, calling him ugly and disgusting, I'm famous and I've got more money than you. We're talking about security being better at certain conventions. Like, well, VidCon, they stepped up their security, and this is what the initial. I can't remember the guy's name. I'm sure if you type in VidCon 2017 fight, you'll find the guy's name. He's such a fucking bitch. Anyway, so apparently what happened is some guy went into VidCon, and I don't know the situation really. I don't know if he was causing a ruckus or whatever, but the security got involved and had him on the ground. And this douchehole from no fucking where comes up and starts trying to get into the building, and the guy, one of the security guards, is trying to tell him, no, you're not coming in or whatever. And he starts berating him, calling him ugly. I have more money than you. Who are you? You're go kill yourself. What are you wearing, bro? I'm like, dude, you look like a non-good-looking Val Kilmer that's dying of AIDS. You're not good-looking at all. You're ugly as fuck. I don't know why you're even famous. And, it's funny, he went on Keemstar's program on Drama Alert, and Keemstar, you can say what you want about Keemstar, he fucking ruined him. He made him look stupid because he's like saying, I have so many followers on, Keemstar does, on Instagram and Twitter and on his YouTube page, and other YouTube celebrities, quote unquote, what if you want to call them that, have this, and when you're sitting there saying that you're so famous, we think of you as a joke, like you're a joke, like nobody knows who you are, and you're berating this guy like you're something special, and the kid's like, it's a new account. I only have 27,000, but I have a lot of activity on my Instagram. I was like, this is the self-entitlement bullshit that I get disgusted by. Some of these YouTubers that get on here or social media stars, and they go out and they actually think that there's somehow Jesus Christ walking out on the earth like amongst other people. Like, you're not that. I mean, dude, you got lucky. You have a good job, and you should be happy that you've got fans that support you. Not go out there fucking acting like some asshole that you should be allowed into certain places or have privileges given to you for some fucking reason because you think you're good looking or you make more money than somebody else. What a fucking asshole, dude.
Yeah, that guy was a cunt. But the what's funny about that is that they pulled a bunch of kids, and you know what the number one most sought after job, dream job for like kids ages whatever to whatever is?
Shoemaker.
Yeah, it's Benny the Shoemaker. But no, it's YouTuber. They want to be famous YouTubers.
That's sad.
That's what we're living in today.
That's sad.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know if it's sad. I mean,
well, because I don't want to be like. It would be cool if we could do this full time. Like if we could do YouTube full time, right, and that's what we would do. But I mean, we're not starting out. We didn't start our lives like. I wanted to be a fucking. I mean, what happened to be like a fireman or a goddamn astronaut or something like that? No, now you're just like, I just want to be a YouTube star.
I just want to play in the NBA.
Or whatever. That even makes more sense than the YouTube shit. It's like, but I mean, it's like it's such a shallow. Like, I don't know.
Well, it depends on what you want to do it for, really. I mean, honestly, I don't do this for YouTube. I do this for movies and
I do it
for movie friends. It has nothing to do with YouTube. I can give a fuck. Like in the grand scheme of things, if we were ever to get YouTube fame, I'd be psyched because it would help our channel, our brand.
I know.
It would help me watch the movie. Yeah. But as far as being a famous YouTuber, I couldn't give a fuck less. I'm almost like shameful sometimes about it. Like I almost wish there was a different platform because YouTube's so cunty to their creators, and some of the creators are so cunty. Not all of them. There's some awesome fucking people on YouTube, but there's also the ones who see it, the ones who are on there just because of their good looks or whatever. Like, good for you, bro. I mean, make fucking money. That's awesome. I don't care.
Pull yourself out.
But I wish that there was another platform. I wish that I do wish there was a separate platform. Like YouTube was like for those people and their YouTube Red shows and their scripted shows and all that stuff like that. And then you got the other side of what YouTube used to be, which is people like us just fucking telling it how it is.
We're flailing in the wind, brother.
Yeah,
we're the last of the Mohegans as far as like there's a few other channels like us, but we're not just the last of the Mohegans of what YouTube maybe used to be, but also the fact that we don't give a fuck and we'll just say what we want to say and say it how it is. Versus what these other fuckers are doing, and they're becoming a chameleon or a copycat or a mirror of what mainstream media is already doing. YouTube was the last refuge for people to go and like listen to news or a person's take on something without having filters on it to where it was like CNN or some shit. Yeah. But it's becoming more popular just to do that. So people are blurting out their curse words. They're doing this because they're afraid of advertisers. They call it the I don't know, the YouTube Armageddon or Admageddon or whatever. Adpocalypse, whatever it is.
Makes me hungry.
That does sound like a burger. But it just seems stupid. And Mike and I, it's funny because even if we had a PewDiePie type fan base, which is like 50-something million subscribers, I've never looked at the people that are subscribed to us as like fans. Like they'll call us my fans support me. I was like, I never looked at you guys as fans. I just look at us like subscribers, like friends or something. So it's weird, and we don't even handle like even recognition that well. Like Mike and I got recognized like twice or 3 times before, and we're awkward as fuck. It's like
I almost feel bad when I meet someone.
It's like we're not like I don't know what
I'm so socially awkward. I'm just like, hey man.
He's like, we only exist behind the camera.
Do you know where the weight room is?
Is it over here? But yeah, it's like, and I don't even think that, like I said, if we had that many subscribers and we were getting recognized all the time, we'd be like, well, what are you guys doing later? You guys want to go out and hang out like later? We wouldn't be like, well, I got to go do a photo shoot. I don't have time.
Oh, I just thought of something awesome.
What?
Sorry, I was ADDing out on you over here.
What?
But yeah, I mean that's a little YouTube rant of the day. I mean every once in a while we got to talk about YouTube and how shitty it is. But talking about
what were your awesome thought?
I just remembered that.
Share it with the class, bitch.
I just remembered that they're doing the Accountant sequel.
I never saw The Accountant.
You're fucking crazy is what you are.
I did not want to watch it.
I saw it. I had to review it by myself, you fucking...
Well, because first off, I thought it was The Accountant. Like, he's counting numbers. Like, it's just like my ex-bitch fucking wife was like an accountant. That's fun.
ex-wife Bill.
How many times are we going to hit that?
No, we have sound effects. Actually, it's a thermos.
It sounds good, though. You should do it.
Yeah, every time you mention your wife. Slut rings.
Slut fucking horse Latia is here.
Slut alert. Okay, anyways, enough with the fucking slut Bill. You slutty Bill. You fucking slutty cup.
Slut herpes.
But no, on the movie news, this is like 2 weeks old, but it excites me, my panties.
They called her Mrs. Needles. You guys don't know that, but I won't tell you. But anyway, what?
The Accountant too, and Gavin Hood's gonna. They're saying
Gavin Hood.
Gavin Hood's the director's name. They're saying he's gonna come back, and Ben Affleck's gonna come back. Which this is crazy to me because I don't think the movie did that. I don't know what it did financially. I'm sure it didn't fucking blow anybody's doors off, but I know critically it did poor. And it was one of those movies that was just fucking unfairly rated to me, like one of those just Rotten Tomatoes fucking missteps. Well, the critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, Rotten Tomatoes unfairly judged a movie? That's new.
But Ben Affleck was amazing in the movie, and the best thing about this movie that other people don't seem to really get, not other people, but those people don't seem to get, is that this movie, everyone wants to talk about, oh, we need more black superheroes, we need more gay superheroes, we need this, and that's good and great and all that, and gender swapping and stuff like that. But this character has he's an
alien that has like sexual needs.
Yeah. More movies about aliens fucking. But he. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say what it is, but he's like on the spectrum definitely. Like he's got autism and stuff like that. And I know that they just did that with the Power Rangers with the one kid, but really? His is like in his character. Like he cannot socially interact with people very well at all, and it's comedic the way he does it, like in the movie.
What you're saying is that there should be at least, if I was talking about having more black leading casts or more gay leading casts, having some like special needs.
No, I'm just saying in this particular case, no one's giving this movie credit because they did that. I'm not saying there needs to be more or anything like that, but I mean, someone mentioned this comment in the review I did for it. They were like, I have, whatever it's called that this guy has, I can't remember the name of it, and this is awesome to me. Like, this is so cool that we get to see basically a Jason Bourne type character who they turned his problem into this great awesome thing, and it's a beautiful thing, and like that's a really cool awesome thing that nobody ever gave it credit for, and the critics just shit all over this movie. I thought it was a fantastic fucking movie, and I know you, and I know that if you watched it, you'll fucking love it.
I loved A Beautiful Mind. And if it's like you
and it's not like that. It's like Jason Bourne more than any. But that's just his character's like really fucked up.
But Russell Crowe's character in that, John Nash, was socially awkward. He couldn't, because he was so smart. He didn't know how to fucking react.
He seems like a dick when someone talks to him. I can't
wait to see The Accountant 2 still counting. But they have done that before. Like Rain Man came out. He was autistic. But if they are combining somebody on the spectrum with an action kind of movie too, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I do want to check it out. So
he's a fucking
I love Ben
genius
Affleck.
Too.
So, but I thought The Accountant got shit on, and I think Ben Affleck actually mentioned that, or that's why rumors were that he pulled out of the Batman movie because he was so disappointed with the critics' response to that movie.
That and Live by Night did poorly too. Yeah. I think it was mainly Live by Night because he directed acting.
But we're not saying
Live by Night was underrated.
But we're not saying. I know, but I don't want it to come out that we're only saying that Ben Affleck shits Goldflakes. I mean, because he does have turd movies that come out too. Yeah. That's fairly judged. But I do agree with you that I did see. I think I saw something with the critics saying that The Accountant sucked or it didn't get it. Because I think it came to on demand pretty quickly. Like, I don't think it stayed in theaters that long.
I think it. I mean, it clearly it had to do something decent for it to get a sequel. I know that, but I mean, I'm just psyched that there's going to be a sequel. But the exciting news, the really exciting news. I mean, maybe exciting. What? The more interesting news to our audience would definitely be this Nightmare on Elm Street shit, dude.
What is it?
So what's apparently happening? Nightmare on Elm Street is still happening.
He's still killing.
There's actually news. Yeah, don't go to sleep, motherfucker.
Every street has an Elm Street.
But there's been actual news, maybe not movement, but news. And here's what happened.
So you've been taking that Miralax.
Yeah, that was my Movantic moment.
Good for you.
But so basically, what's happened is that back in 2015, New Line / Warner Brothers announced they were going to reboot Nightmare on Elm Street. 2015. Okay. Haven't heard shit about it since.
Okay.
Nothing. Then what happened is they just recently announced that David Leslie Johnson is going to be the writer on The Conjuring 3, which they just announced. Mm-hmm. Now, David Leslie Johnson is who they said was going to be the writer back in 2015 for Nightmare on Elm Street. So that led some people to go to his IMDb, and when they went to his IMDb, they saw Nightmare on Elm Street was listed in his IMDb still. And when they clicked on that, they saw that it had a plot attached to it. And now let me read to you.
Slippery fox.
This plot. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying it's a good thing. Turned out to be fake, but their news came out of this.
Okay.
So the plot listed that someone just got on there and fucking edited and made. When Brenton Higgins begins to appear in other people's dreams at will, he has no idea that he is the illegitimate son of Freddy Krueger. Recently moving back to Elm Street, Brenton discovers his hidden past and finds himself on a collision course with Freddy himself. Brenton is also pursued by a mysterious secret government agency led by Professor Matthew Luck. They want his gift. What they don't know is they will get Krueger with hell to pay.
Oh my god!
Thank God that's fake.
You know what I feel like? I feel like we have to guard against this. I feel like we're Raiden and Liu Kang at the end of Mortal Kombat, and he's like, "Your soul's of mine." It's like, who is it? It's like it's the Emperor. It's like, I don't think so. That's a terrible fucking plot. Yeah. That's a terrible. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, bro? Oh my god, bro, we seeing some shit we ain't never seen before.
Let's introduce a secret government agency.
Oh god, that's so fucking bad. First off, my name is Jeff. That's fucking bad. That is so bad.
That's a link to a cinematic universe.
That is so bad. Shield. That's like finding out you have herpes off one night, and you're like, oh fuck, I really do have herpes. So like, I'm not lying to you. You really have herpes, and you're gonna stay with it for the rest of your life. Oh my god, that's so bad. It makes me vomit in my mouth, and I swallowed it back. It's so gross.
Welcome to straight to non-profit cable, bitch.
Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorite series of all time. Like, I love Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger is badass, cool shit. He's scary. I mean, he's really, to me, always been scary. Scarier than even some of the more iconic 80s horror slashers, just because that he can invade your dreams. I mean, everybody has to sleep, and that's what's scary about it. But the thing about having that plot, that just sounds like some fucking straight throwaway garbage that somebody just wrote while they were taking a shit and had a massive turd come out. And they're like, oh fuck, I gotta end it.
Goddamn Jews.
Secret government fucking agency. Like, it just is like, or somebody that was getting there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna write this fucking plot. Got this plot going. Hey Jeffrey, your car's getting towed. Oh shit, okay, gotta finish it up. Turn this into The Office. Like, that's terrible. That is a terrible fucking script, and I don't understand. Okay, so I'm torn with two things. I mean, you had Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, okay, with Jackie Earl Haley.
Yeah. Samuel Bayer's music video. Jackie
Earl Haley, I feel bad for him because I think he did as best as he could. I think that the movie itself was just shit poorly
He was
executed.
good, and his lawns were sometimes good, but he looked like a fucking burnt squirrel.
I didn't like the CG effects. Like, I thought that was garbage. I think they should have gone back to the more practical effects that they used on Robert Englund, and that would have made more sense. But, nonetheless, they already did a reboot. Now, how long has that been? Was that 2013?
I don't know.
That was a while
2010. It was 2010.
Okay, so it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
So I guess, is it 7 years and elapsed time enough to do a reboot, or do you just want to go into a sequel-ish territory or a reboot that's not a reboot and just say Nightmare on Elm Street?
I think what everybody would like to see is them just the way it left off with New Nightmare, I don't know. But with most of these series, people would just rather they'd rather just see a sequel to the last movie that was made.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can do that.
I don't want to see a sequel to Jackie Earl Haley.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. I don't think you. I mean, at this point,
I'd rather see a sequel to.
So at this point, you've got to say that you've got to reboot it.
You got to reboot it.
You've got to. I mean, if you're going to bring Freddy Krueger back to the forefront, but I would change up some things about him. Like, you still want to make him what he was in life. Like, he's a disgusting guy. I mean, he's a fucking nasty dude. That's what people should be understanding about Freddy Krueger. Yeah. Like, he's a nasty person. But maybe change it up to the point where Elm Street is there. Actually, Elm Street's just a gay club that people hang out at. No, actually, don't change it up. Keep it the same, but get a director in there, get a writer in there that actually gives a fuck about the movie. I mean,
that ties into what's going on. Actually, the actual news is that they went to Bloody Disgusting found this, and they went to New Line or Warner Brothers and asked them, and they came out and they said, no, we still plan on making that movie, but right now we're concentrating on building on Conjuring universe, and we're concentrated on it. And then later down the line, we'll go back to Freddy. So basically, they said we still plan on making this movie, so it's in the cards. So that's good news.
That's good news.
But the bad news is fucking how long is it going to take? And I have a huge theory on this. Breaking news.
Don't ever do it. Why are you looking at what you're doing?
I actually had the fairy arms
going
through. Breaking news. But no, I think that what's really happening here, which it sucks because it's stupid of them to be like, I mean, what, is Dave Leslie Johnson the only fucking one who can write a goddamn script?
I'd get James Wan.
Get any fucking body. It doesn't have to be that specific guy.
I would get John Wick.
Baba Yaga.
Get somebody to save it.
Oh. Get John Wick. Oh. But it doesn't have to be him. Why are you waiting? You're a fucking movie studio. Why do you have to wait to...
Nightmare on Elm Street is one of the easiest movies to reboot. It really is.
It should be.
You've already got Wes Craven's greatest fucking... I'm sorry. Okay. To me, one of his greatest creations that he ever put down... And he's got a perfect plot. He's got a perfect solid grounding. You could take it from there, and a writer worth his salt could fucking make something from that movie and make it scary, make it intense. Because how are you going to tell me it's... I mean, I loved Nightmare on Elm Street. I loved them all. Even the second one, the third one, even the shittier ones, I loved them. But why is the first one, the original Nightmare, and then the new Nightmare, the best ones of the series that were directed by Wes Craven? Because he gave a fuck about the character. He actually was going for, that weird, over the top kind of this creepy atmospheric movie that, a lot of writers and directors after Freddy 1 got away from, and they wanted to go more and explore his comedic side, which is fine. I get it, and I enjoyed his comedic sides, like Welcome to Primetime, Bitch. Like, everybody loves that shit. What a Rush. But going back to the original one and the new Nightmare one, Wes Craven focused more on the horror part of what Freddy Krueger was rather than just the comedic part. So
yeah.
I just don't know how can Hollywood not find some guy or guys out there that could write a fucking script that would make sense, and a director that would be like, you know what, I want to take this and make this badass. I want to make a really, really, really good Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And I think maybe the guy that did the Jackie O'Haley movie was trying. The script was so fucking bad. Like, it didn't connect.
Yeah, well, actually, coming back to that, the actor from that movie, basically, this is what scares me. Like, at first, I'm like, awesome, they're still making the movie, and then I think about it, and I read this quote, and it makes me worry that they're never going to get it right, because they're never going to give a fuck about it, just like they don't right now. And it's ironic as hell, by the way, that they're putting Freddy Krueger on the back burner.
Yeah.
He's going to there. But no, listen.
I hate fire.
Listen to what this kid said, man. This guy was an actor, Thomas Dekker, on the 2010 version of Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's smart as shit what he said. It's like really well spoken. He said, it's a tricky one to talk about. I would say it was an honor to be a part of it. I think that the cast, as we know, we had one-time Oscar nominee and another two-time Oscar nominee who's still a very good friend of mine, Rudy Mara. And I think the issue at hand with that movie can't really be thrown at the director, because the director was basically a gun for hire, hired to make it look good, and he did that. It looks great, but it's basically like most good films. Tell a story that the film was to sell a tuxedo. It's a sales movie. It's okay. We got this idea we're going to try to take, and we're going to make money off it. So let's just do that. Even though the intentions, the artistic forces behind it were okay. We're going to open up the mythology of Freddy Krueger. We're going to make him darker and actually explore the idea of child sexual abuse. And those are things that interest me. Of course, at the end of the day, when you have to put it on 1,000 theaters or more, you have to shy away from those things, and you just make it sellable and a sellable entity. So I think you can't really start judging the leaves of a tree if the seed is fucked.
See, I agree with what he's saying there, okay, so Freddy Krueger, if you are going to explore that darker side, because if you look at, he is, the iconic slasher of the 80s. But Freddy Krueger, like I said, I mentioned this earlier, he's a disgusting guy. He's disgusting. And the child abuse, the child sexual predator part. Well, yeah, whatever. But you have to explore that. If you're going to make it, I'm not saying I want Rob Zombie to, I mean, who the fuck knows what would happen then if Rob Zombie got a hold of something like Nightmare on Elm Street. But,
like, I don't want to see it, but...
I don't either. But if you want to explore that part of the character and make him more disgusting and make him somebody that you shouldn't be cheering for, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not a superhero at that point. By Nightmare 5, Freddy Krueger, you might as well say he's fucking Batman. Every time he showed up, everybody's going to cheer when he comes on screen with his glove. You explore more of the darker elements of what makes Freddy Krueger, that he is a child sexual predator, that he did all this shit that was disgusting to kids, and then, he dies and comes back as a curse on the town, on this Elm Street, and wants to take revenge on the parents for killing him. You explore that side of it, I think you get a way different kind of movie, and I think at that point it can be 50-50. You can get people who are saying that this is disgusting, I don't think they should have taken an iconic character like this and made him this way, or you get that other side that'll say this is exactly what Freddy Krueger always was, this is exactly what Wes Craven had intended him to be, and he's scary, he's nasty, he's like Pinhead. When you watch a Hellraiser movie, it's disgusting, it's nasty as fuck, but it's cool because it's Pinhead, and the horror is great. But in this specific instance with Freddy Krueger, you kind of walk the line. I mean, in a way, you don't want to go too dark. You don't want to go too delve deep into that, because, I mean, he is a molester. Like, that's what he is in life before he became Freddy Krueger. And then when he's Freddy Krueger, when he comes Freddy Krueger, they kind of explored it a little bit in the Jackie Earle Haley movie in the 2010 version, when he's on that girl and he made her dress in a little, like, kid skirt.
I think the script was written to, and that's what he was alluding to.
But back when Wes Craven wrote the movie, and he said that they were going to explore that more, in the child predator part of it more, but that case just happened with the sexual molestation of those children, and he's like, he thought it was in bad taste to really kind of emphasize that in the movie, so he took a lot of it out.
And that's what I was going to say too. And then you also got this happened to him too with Nightmare 3. Remember, he had a really dark fucking script, and they took it away from him.
His money.
It goes back to the same thing that I understand, at least from a financial standpoint. Okay, at least from a financial standpoint, I get why you would want to do that. Like, why you wouldn't want to delve deep into the child molestation stuff. Like, I may not agree with it. I may say, well, it's better for the movie to keep it legit and not try to shy away from things and just tell it how it is. But I can it all depends on how that's written. If that's written in in a tasteful way or not. But I can understand the studio not wanting to do it. At least I can reason with that. I understand where they're coming from. What I can't understand, and what pisses me off, is why no one will stop and take one of these franchises seriously for 5 seconds. I know they're trying to right now with Halloween, at least it seems that way, because it went to Blumhouse, whereas Dimension wanted to just slock out some shit, just like the way they're treating Hellraiser right now. Not taking it seriously at all. They want to keep the rights just in case down the line somebody fucking cares. So they're hiring people who give a shit about it, but maybe they're not giving the support for it or whatever. I'm not blaming the artist behind the camera on that, because they can only work with the studio support that they get. But the way that they're mistreating Hellraiser, you look at the way that they've mistreated Halloween in the past, and the way that they're mistreating this. What I can't understand, I can't get behind, is the whole hired gun thing. Why they hired an MTV music video director and just wanted him to make it look good. Why the studio clearly just wants to slap out some bullshit, doesn't even want to stop and concentrate on this right now.
Well, if you're going to look at it that way, though, I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, it's money hungry, man. They know that they can take a character, a face, or poster, a title, or something that's sold well in the past and make some money off of it.
That's because they didn't create it.
Yeah,
that's why.
And that's what it is. I mean, that's the shitty. That's the horror world that we're living in, because names like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, Child's Play, those movies, the titles themselves are selling points for any of these studios that get a hold of them. They know that they can slap whatever turd they want to out there and let you take it down to your throat and put those titles on it, and you guys are going to go see it. You guys are going to go support it because you're so starved for it. And that's some shitty, like, that's a shitty philosophy, but that's unfortunately what we have to look forward to. I'm not saying that there aren't, the new Halloween movie that's purported, hopefully it still comes out, and what they're doing with that, it's going to be hopefully good and great. But, I'm worried about them cutting things out. I'm worried about them taking parts of mythology out because it makes it better suited for whatever, in their minds, visions for sequels and shit. So, I don't know.
They the thing is that, and that's another aspect of it that I didn't think of before, is when you kind of studios and they're not necessarily wanting to put these movies out, I think it's for two reasons. And this is what I was going to talk about was, A, I think that they're full of shit in the fact that, we're busy with the Conjuring universe. It was a battle, I think, between the Friday the 13th people, the Halloween people, and Hellraiser doesn't even count right now, and the Nightmare people, to see who's gonna take the leap first. Because basically everything nowadays is about cinematic universes, and it's about catching this buzz and becoming a huge thing. So what they're hoping to do, like, look what they're trying to do with the monster movies in the cinematic universe. So what everybody's doing is they're gonna wait for who takes the leap first. It turned out to be Halloween. Halloween's been announced. It's for real. You can't really count Chucky because they're going direct to DVD, but Halloween's going to take the first leap. They're going to put their movie out in theaters. They're going to put money behind it. They're going to put big names on it. And if Halloween flops, you guys, we may not see a Nightmare or a Halloween or a Friday. Friday's got to go through its battles.
Yeah,
anyways.
Halloween is the flagship of all these movies coming back.
Yeah, and they all want to wait and see what it does before they actually put it out there. But the good news is if Halloween does do well, and I'm talking really well, anything is possible.
I still think that's unfair, though, because Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween are so different in their approach to horror. It's ridiculous. They're not in the same. I mean, I know they're both slashers and they're 80s slasher films, but how Wes Craven approached the horror genre with his character and how John Carpenter approached the horror genre with his character, they're different. They're completely separate beasts.
You got to look at how the studios are looking at it. They don't care about that. I think what the studios are looking at is, does the 80s horror slasher demographic put enough asses in the seats for us to release this movie?
We'll see, I guess.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, they may look at it as a property. Like, hey, if we put out just a turd, like you said, and put out nothingness every 10 years, give it a 10 years for everybody to forget about the last turd and get excited again, and then we'll just slap another one out. And that's the only reason they want to have these titles. That's one thing. But if
you had a bad shit, and now you're gonna have a good shit.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the thing is, you heard it here first. If Halloween has a good box office, it will not be long before you see that studio go, guess what, guys? We're going into production on Nightmare now.
I think Friday the 13th will be the next one.
Well, Friday the 13th's got to deal with its rights battle. So the way that thing's working out, we don't know if we're ever going to get another Friday the 13th, depending on who gets the rights.
We got Chucky. So.
Yeah.
Fucking touch it and suck it in.
Yeah. So,
hey, by the way, that was cool stuff that happened recently. He actually retweeted one. I don't know, like the new Chucky movie. We tweeted to them that hey, stop breastfeeding or whatever, and then he retweeted it back. I wasn't breastfeeding. I was fucking and touching and sucking it, which is what Mike said in the video. So did you watch it, you fucker? That's great.
Yeah. That's what's crazy about it. I tweeted out our video like I always do when we get done with a video. I'll put the tweet out and I'll put something on it on Twitter, and just the caption was "Stop breastfeeding that doll," because in the Red Band trailer he's breastfeeding, and now when we do the trailer reactions right before we click play, we say "sucking it and fucking it, touching it," and that's literally what he said. So like you said, he watched it.
He had to watch it.
Not Chucky, literally, obviously, but just whoever runs that account. Yeah. And that was like that was the highlight of my week, man. I was like, that's fucking cool as shit. Like I actually, whoever's a movie that's getting ready to come out. It's not like a dead account or anything, but I actually saw that, watched the video, and said that was cool. That was almost right up there with doing the
Lights Out.
The Star Wars Rogue One trailer reaction, and then their special effects team releasing a video of them reacting to all of us YouTubers' reactions and like laughing at the jokes and shit like that. That and this are two of the.
I thought you were talking about when Pony Smasher actually retweeted us.
No, that was cool too though.
That was Lights Out.
Director of Lights Out. Yeah, so that was a nice little highlight of the week. So, and the Cult of Chucky trailer came out this week as well. So there's a little bit of slasher stuff churning in the bowels of horror. But that's the thing. I don't think that, and this will be the last thing I say about this, I don't think that the studios realize what social media has done for horror fans. What I think is that they think that it's still this same old audience. They're looking at these numbers from 2010 or whatever. And yeah, Facebook, social media was around then. But with Instagram, with all the stuff that's come out and the way that things have grown, I think the horror community has grown too. And like when you join one of these groups, it may re-pique your interest in slashers, may re-pique your interest in horror, old-time horror. And it just feels to me like the horror community is at the biggest swell I've ever seen. And I think that if you go back and you do some of these 80s slashers and you put them in theaters, I think they're going to fucking blow people's minds.
As long as you do a good job and you're not just throwing out cannon fodder to get a little piece of coin in your pocket. Like, right. As long as it's done quality. Like, you gotta, if you're going to give the same amount of attention to shit like the Conjuring universe, yeah, or Insidious or Sinister, give the same kind of fucking attention to like these 80s, because that's what built the Bedlam. Mm-hmm. That's what built the whole fucking thing. It was these 80s icons. Like, yeah. And that's it. You know, I know Jeepers Creepers Cathedral's coming out and everybody's excited about it, but whatever. But I'm just saying, like, if you're going to put the attention behind certain other movies that are coming out, like I said, the Conjuring stuff, for example, and you're not going to give the same... I just don't know why you're not going to give the same respect to these icons that came before, like Jason. And, you know, I know there are people out there like, well, it's retreading. Every time you do it, it's just retreading. It's like, but you're going to introduce it to a new generation, a new audience. And if you can make it right, if you can make it good, it's going to be one of those fucking things that is a success story, and all the other ones are going to fall in place. So.
Yeah, and I've come accustomed to getting anything original in horror, for the most part, straight from video on demand. I mean, you get a lot of original stuff from video on demand when it comes to horror. That's one thing that's great about the horrorverse, is they can do that, and you don't have to rely on like all these big titles and stuff like that. But when it comes to the big guys, yeah, I want to see them. Just like give us that. But horror's done well lately. I mean, you can't really complain about horror as a whole. These past 2 years, it seems like with the VOD emergence and like some of the titles that are getting released, there's some shit stains on the underwear of life out there, but there's some really good horror being released. Like, look at how pumped everybody is for It and the Dark Tower's issue on horror, but you know what I mean. So
there are horror elements in the Dark Tower, but yeah, everybody's loving It. So yeah, man, if they do it right, it's gonna be fucking great. And I hope they do. Like, again, Nightmare on Elm Street to me, it's always been Nightmare on Elm Street, then Halloween, then Friday the 13th. So I really hope they do fucking awesome with it.
For me, it's always been Halloween.
I don't give a fuck.
Halloween.
I don't care.
Halloween. That's it, man. That's all I got to fucking say.
Yeah, so
this concludes our broadcast day.
That was the whole fucking Wham! Ep 4. If you guys have made it through this far, I want you to do something in the comments. Say Freddy Krueger
tickles me timing.
No, say Freddy Krueger
plays tummy sticks.
What the fuck? I can't even get it out. Yeah, say Freddy Krueger plays tummy sticks.
See, it was a good one.
Well, no, because I lost my train of thought because you can't fucking.
It's alright. Come back later. I'll Indian wrestle you.
This is bullshit. You always like to win.
You get from the easy one. Hippopotamus. Come back here. I give you crew cut, Mister.
Hippopotamus. Damn you, Scuba Steve. Yeah, so
a good surprise on you.
That was a good surprise on you. Yeah, so that was the Wham! Ep 4. We're gonna bring in Ep 5 hopefully next week. I know we were a little late on the podcast. We're not, like, honestly, it wasn't because we were trying to be late. We weren't being assholes about it, but there was a lot of shit that came up.
Watch them while they wait.
Yeah, so you think your son is safe with me? I'm fighting. I gotta keep saying it, guys. I'm sorry. It's the funniest shit ever. So episode 5 will be coming hopefully next week. We'll get together and do that. We've got Spider-Man Homecoming coming out tomorrow.
There's a lot of coming.
There's so much coming.
So much coming happening.
In Robert Downey's mouth. Because he's almost done.
Put on the suit.
Fucking Ragnarok. So anyway, thank you for joining us. We love your fucking faces. I was Jay. That was Mike. And now we're leaving you in the silence of the dark.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.